the number of people getting married in Indonesia is plummeting. In 2014, 2.1 million Indonesians tied the knot. A decade later, that figure was just under 1.5 million. That is despite the population growth. So what's happening there on the nuptials front? To answer those questions, I'm joined in the studio now by ABC Indonesia journalist Natasya Salim. Natasya, welcome back. Good to have you back on the show with us. Now, firstly, what's behind this decline in Indonesia? Why are fewer Indonesians tying the knot?
Yeah. There are actually a lot of reasons, Girish, as to why the marriage rate in Indonesia is declining. And the biggest one is because of financial reason. So marriage is no longer seen as just a wedding or just about having kids, but it also requires financial stability. So these young Indonesians, they also think about housing and, you know, like when they get married, then they have to pay for to raise their kids, for example. So that's the biggest one. But then there are also other things, like, for example, access to education. So more Indonesian women who in the past were expected to raise the kids at home, they're more exposed to education and, you know, maybe they're more exposed to opportunities to build their career. So then marriage becomes something that's, you know, like in the bottom of their priority list, for example.
So is this a indicative of a broader cultural shift in how younger Indonesians view marriage?
Totally. Especially because now young Indonesians, you know, we have dating apps, right? So, and with dating apps, that's kind of like a game changer for the young Indonesians because the nature of dating app itself that makes it easy for people to just swipe right or left.
So you think it actually would work better?
Well, actually, well, in reality, not really.
Yeah.
Because one source told me that she has ditched dating app entirely because she kept finding men who were already married or like already in relationship, but yet still on the app. So like it just made it harder for people and it's created a lot of trust issues for some of them.
Yeah, so one of the issues you've talked about is that, you know, people are not quite able to find the right person. But even for those young Indonesians, do they still hope to get married one day?
They do still hope to get married, especially in Indonesia where religion and culture is still a big thing. So they are still encouraged to get married, but it's just getting harder for them. And it's a matter of when and with who, because now people become more critical of finding their partner because of the online trends, for instance, where 2 years ago, probably there was a hashtag on TikTok, which is marriage is scary, where people shared the fear of getting married, and asking the questions like, what happens if my partner cheats on me? Or like, what happens if they don't want to raise the kids with me? Or if they're not religious enough? So these things has created fear among the young people, which makes them think twice about getting married.
Yeah, these are quite legitimate issues, though, that people do think about. I do wonder whether, you know, the families of, you know, younger Indonesians, are they getting pressured as well to say, okay, you've been single for a while, you know, why aren't you getting married? Do they still face those same pressures from especially the boomer generation?
Yeah. I think they still get these questions from time to time, but it really differs. Like for some people, the family is still more lenient and more open-minded and respect the decision to be single or not to get married. But some families still raise these questions all the time because, you know, Indonesia still value religion and culture highly.
So given these plummeting rates of marriage, is the Indonesian government stepping in to try and help out?
Yeah.
To raise the rates of marriage again?
They did. Interestingly enough, the government in Jakarta, for example, they organized a mass wedding where they paid for everything for hundreds of couples to get married. So they made the venue available, which was in a mosque. They paid for the food, they paid for the photo shoot, and they even paid for the hotel for these couples. So they did something, yes.
I should have got married in Indonesia. Natasya Salim, really good to chat with you. Really interesting issue and see how see whether these policies do work in the future. Thank you so much, Natasya.
Thank you so much.